Hello all. Today we are going to see a particular model in operations research that's called replacement models. When are we going to use this replacement model? Whenever there is a failure or breakdown of a particular equipment and we want to replace that old equipment with a newer one, we go for this particular model. So this helps the management in replacing the older equipments with the new one at an optimum cost. There are three different models of replacement. Model 1, it deals with replacement of items that deteriorate with time, ignoring the time value of money. Model 2, replacement of items that deteriorate with time, considering the time value of money. And model 3, replacement of items that fail suddenly. Now let us see these three models one by one. Model 1, replacement of items that deteriorate with time, ignoring the time value of money. We know very well whenever we are using an equipment for some years, it gets worsened year by year. And the maintenance cost of such equipments, it increases whenever it gets older. And we need to find the particular year and the cost which is involved in maintaining that particular equipment, so that whenever the maintenance cost goes beyond a certain limit and it is not profitable also, we need to replace that machine with a new one. So this kind of replacement comes under this particular model where we are not considering the time value of money. So without considering the time of money, we are going to replace the items based on calculating the average annual cost. How are we going to calculate the average annual cost? So first for that, now we need to find the total cost involved. Okay, so this is the formula for finding the total cost. T is equal to C minus S of t plus sigma F of t, where T is the total cost, C is the initial cost. Initial cost is the cost which is incurred while buying an equipment, the initial cost of an equipment. So that is denoted as C here. The next is S of t. S of t is nothing but the selling cost or the scrap value. So whenever we are selling the older equipment to someone else, so what is the cost involved, so that we are getting back so that is the selling cost of that particular equipment. And next is F of t, the operating and maintenance cost. So while we want to maintain that particular equipment for the period which we are using it, so whatever the cost that is incurred for maintaining that particular machine, we call that as operating and maintenance cost. Okay, so these parameters, through these parameters, now we are going to calculate the total cost. So after calculating the total cost, we are going to calculate the average annual cost. So where average annual cost TA is equal to T by N, where T is the total cost. T is the total cost divided by N. N is the number of years, that is replacement period of equipment. Now let's solve a problem in this model 1. The cost of a machine is rupees 16,100 and its scrap value is rupees 1,100. The maintenance costs are given below. When should the machine be replaced? So the initial cost they have given, that is 16,100, nothing but C in the formula, and its scrap value, that is the selling cost, and they have given the maintenance cost for different years. The maintenance cost is different. So for 8 years they have given 8 different maintenance costs. It is not the same for every year. So with this data we need to find when the machine should be replaced. Now let's see how to solve this problem. In the first column we have year of service. So 1 to 8, 8 years. The second column we have initial cost. So the initial cost of the machine is 16,100, which is the same across all the years. The next is resale value, that is 1,100. It is also the same across the years. And the next is maintenance cost. In the question they have given different maintenance costs for different years, so the same values are given here. And next we need to find sigma f of t, since that is necessary when we need to find the total cost. If you see in the next column, total cost t is equal to c minus s of t plus sigma f of t, where we need to find the cumulative of f of t, the maintenance cost. So we need to find sigma f of t before calculating total cost. So in this particular column, sigma f of t, cumulative, how we are going to calculate the cumulative cost. For the first year, the maintenance cost is 300, so the cumulative cost is also the same. But if you see for the second year, we need to add both the first year and the second year maintenance cost together, and we have to put it in the second year cumulative cost. So for the second year, it is 300 plus 450, that is 750. Suppose if you want to find for the third year, it is for the cumulative value, it has to be the first year, second year and third year value together, and we need to put it in sigma f of t. Likewise, we need to find for all the other years. The next is total cost. We need to substitute all these values in the formula. T is equal to c minus s of t plus sigma f of t. So c is the initial cost, so that is 16,100, and s of t is the resale value, that is 1,100, and the cumulative cost, that is 300 here. So after finding that, now we are getting 15,300 for the first year. So likewise, we need to find for all the other years the total cost. Then we need to move on to the average annual cost. TA is equal to T by N, where the total cost for the first year is 15,300, and the N is the number of years which is given in the column 1. So 15,300 divided by 1, so 15,300. Similarly, we need to find for the second year to 8th year. So after finding that, we need to find the minimum average annual cost. So if you see here, from the first year, if you see the cost, it gets reduced on a yearly basis, and the minimum value is at the 8th year. So the answer is at the end of 8th year, the machine has to be replaced. So this is the minimum value, average annual cost. At that particular year, now we have to replace the machine. We'll see one more problem for this particular model. Small battery operated trucks are used in an industry for material handling purposes. The operation cost, maintenance cost and resale value for 6 years are given in the table for one of these trucks. Determine when the truck is to be replaced by a new one, if the initial cost of truck is 75,000 rupees. And they have given the annual operating cost, annual maintenance cost and the resale value. So if you see here, the initial cost of truck is 75,000. that is nothing but C, initial cost they have given. And then in the previous problem, if you see, there is only one maintenance cost is given there. In f of t, there is only one maintenance cost. But here you have annual operating cost and annual maintenance cost. So we need to add both this operating cost and maintenance cost and put it together under the column f of t. So that is the difference between the earlier problem and this problem. We need to add both these costs and we need to put it under f of t. And the resale value, if you see the resale value, in the earlier problem they gave only one resale value. So we, for all the 8 years, we have put the same s of t value in the earlier problem. But here if you see, the resale value changes for each and every year. So we have to take those particular values and we need to know put it for the respective years. Now let's see how to solve this problem. So the first column we have the year of service. The second column, the initial cost, that is 75,000, that is the same across the number of years. The third one is resale value s of t, so that is also given in the question, so we have put it here. And the fourth column is the annual operating plus annual maintenance cost. So there are two different costs which is given here, so we have to add both these costs and then we have to put it under f of t. So we have added both the cost and we have put it here. And the next is sigma f of t. Sigma f of t, as usual, now we need to find the cumulative cost. For the first year it is the same. For the second year we need to add the first year's value and the second year's value, and we need to put it here. Similarly, now we need to find for all the other years. And the next is the total cost. So t is equal to c minus s of t plus sigma f of t, where c is 75,000 here and s of t is 45,000 and sigma f of t is 16,000. Okay, so for the first year the total cost is 46,000. Likewise, we need to find for all the other years. The last one is the average annual cost. T is equal to t by n. If you see, for the first year the total cost is 46,000 and the number of years for the first year, so that is divided by 1. So 46,000 divided by n is 1. So similarly we need to find for the other years. Suppose if you want to find for the second year, so it is t is equal to t by n. How will you find it? It is 70,500 divided by 2, number of years 2. For the third year it will be divided by 3. Likewise it goes on. So now if you see, we need to find the minimum average annual cost. For the first year it is 46,000, second year it is 35,250, and then see 39,000, 41, 42, 45,000. It increases. So the minimum cost is 35,250. So what should we do? At the end of second year, the machine has to be replaced. So the cost, the average annual cost is 35,250. If we are holding the machine after that, see what is happening. From the third year, the annual cost is rising. So it goes 39, 41, 42, 45. Likewise, now it goes on. So that's why now we have to choose the minimum average annual cost, and we have to replace that machine at that particular year. If we are not doing it, then now our cost is going to increase like anything. So for this particular problem, the answer is 35,250. So for 35,250, it comes under the second year. That's why we are writing it as at the end of second year, the machine has to be replaced.